moment. Category 3 at 4.7k. They've still got the sprint to reach.
They have indeed, and it's great to see the riders pushing on and racing. And I tell you something, on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, Category 3, those three riders, Velez, Moreno and Von Haren, are still clear of the chasing group. Only 3 seconds, but they are still hanging out there on their own.
And the riders behind, I mean, we've seen Ross Solly, Patrick Duma in there. We've seen Ryan Giuliano. I mean, the chasing group, they are holding the time around about 4 or 5 seconds, but they're not bringing them back. And Moreno, Van Haren, along with
انت عارف المرض
not riders to let go too easily.
الذي يكون عند الإنسان
like
فيسخن يصاب بسخونة.
You know, they would be quite happy to let them stay out there. The issue is, and we have seen this happen, where 4 seconds becomes 10 seconds, where 10 seconds becomes 15, where 15 becomes 25, and all of a sudden they're gone.
Not go too easily.
الذي يكون عند الإنسان فيسخن يصاب
Not sure
بسخونة.
that's going to happen this time. It may well be that the sprint will bring the riders back in together again. You can just see there that in fact it has. It's brought the groups back together. It's shaking it up. I think he'll go through at a real power there. He's absolutely rocketed his way through the group from the back to the front, but whether or not he's going to be the rider at the top of the standings, we'll have to wait and see. He had caught up with the leaders. He pulled that 4-second gap back, just waiting for those times to come in on the right-hand side. In fact, it looks like by Emma nodding, the other side of the Full Speed Event studio, they're in.
They are indeed, and Rick Van Erck takes the sprint.
Wow.
In Category 3, Andre Diduch in second, Luke Allport in third. Diduch, 17.5 watts per kilo. That was all about positioning because Van Erck took it at 12.8.
Making sure you're in the right place, the right time is key. The start line is where you need to be if you are part of the Abu Dhabi team, because Jakob Björkler and Maz Buster and Todd Allen, you're going to be representing them. The Shark and Note team from the Netherlands, Frank Thompson. Our Smarties team, that is a confectionery here in the UK.
You need to be an orange Smartie.
Yeah, Banks theme, Betty, Ritter and Walter. There are orange Smarties, are there? Maybe there are. They're
orange flavoured.
Okay. The Hitmen represented by Olivier Bigley-Simmons, Tatu Koistonen in there as well. The UAE Falcons represented by Ahmed Al-Tanashi and Zaid Hamden, and the UAE clan team. They've got the big three out to play. We might not have them in the cross later on. We've got them here in Category 2. Mr. X100, Pavlo Popovic, and the one and only SS taking to race start. Category 2. Time to go racing. Time to see which of these green jerseys are going to translate that to a green skin suit, a polka dot skin suit, and a yellow skin suit at the end of today's race. We're in with Mr. X100 out on the road, been riding very, very strongly indeed out on the road, on the track. This is a rider who can put in some serious performances on any terrain. Has he done too much work doing other things and not on the Sunday race? We're going to find out. This is when it counts, because this is qualifier number 3. 2 qualifying rides required to get into those finals.
Well, Havo, El Alami, Theme, Clays, all in the mix here. Coinston is here as well, and Trojanowski in. Oh, actually, Marcin Trojanowski, this course could suit him, you know.
We say that about every course for Trojanowski.
Well, no, I mean, I think Trojanowski is the type of rider. He rides brilliantly in Belgium. The short, sharp climbs really, really suit him. He's on the front at the moment, dialing it with Matthias Van He and Jakob Abitko. But the short, sharp climbs really suit him, and there's no mega climbing. There's a lot of short, sharp climbing, and then there's the longer climb at the end. He could go well today. That's where I'm taking it, but I'm just going to take it back to the confectionery of Smartie. The only reason being, if anybody has ever tried the Smarties confectionery, I've always wondered why the orange ones taste of orange, but none of the other.
Okay. I don't think Martin can answer that question.
If anybody knows the answer to that, biking_Emma, that's where you can get in contact with me on Instagram.
Because Emma's social media is not busy enough already. Please talk to her about Smarties. Meanwhile, don't talk to me about chocolate at all. I'm trying to avoid it because I need to get back down to race before we hit the summer. At the moment, the only racing I'll be doing is downhill racing, believe me. Right, now, it is not downhill. It is flat at the moment, and we have already got Wozniak and Trojanski and a Bitco at the front ripping this up. We are seeing the Polish riders at the moment dominate the front of this group. Samuel Joshua Canada chasing, and a rider who's moved down from Category 1, Zach Nair from the United States in the mix as well, marking the moves out. We are in with Jakub Bitko. An absolutely phenomenal rider. I mean, this could well be his day here today. And I tell you something, this group, if this group go clear,
this is a good group, I tell you.
Come on, let's see if we can get a breakaway all the way to the finish. And if not, let's make it hard. And I think going back to talking about Trojanski, that's what he needs, because I think this is he's one of those riders. When it's hard, he goes well, but it needs to be hard all the way.
Well,
through
take
the
a
race.
look. It's another Polish rider trying to come across at the moment. Lukas Stacko is the rider moving across to join the leading group, which should make 4 Polish riders and 1 Canadian.
Come on, guys. I love it when we get a breakaway.
If your flag is red and white, you're allowed in the leading group.
Okay, which other countries have got red and white flags? I'm asking Emma here, and I'm getting a very big shake of the head here. Can you visualize those flags in colour?
No, I can't visualize flags in colour.
We will soon see which other ones we can add to the mix. It doesn't count if you've got other colours in there as well. Now, interesting to see the response. For me, when we see an attack go, it's not just about who's on the attack. It's about who is chasing and who's responding. El Alami, Simmons, Dan, Nitko, they are chasing. So is Nair. They're responding. They're at the front of the chase group. Now, that chase group have just brought them back. So that attack hasn't necessarily paid off. But who are we seeing? Graves in there. We're seeing Betty in there. They're up near the front. They know that you cannot let these gaps go. And they are up and around. Ika Morelli's there as well. And Lewis Ridley. Ridley's been riding really well. He could be another rider for today. He's got a great sprint on him. Krasnick's the same. These riders moving up really, really key.
Okay, so riders with red and white flags who could join the leading group at the moment.
Here we
if you are from Japan, from Switzerland, from Singapore, from Malta, from Denmark, from Austria, from Qatar, from England, from Hong Kong, or from Indonesia.
Plenty.
Lots of them, see?
There is indeed.
Other flags are available from other nations as well.
Okay, well, let's see what our nations can do, and more importantly, what our teams can do here in Category 1. Avis Esports riders, Paradines, Tugels, Don and Van Els. They have 4 riders in the mix. Alvajor have 5. Churek, Tobert, Vajasin, Kaminsky, and Jones. The Boss Moves only squad, Osborne and Knudsen, but one of those is the world champion. Farmwatch squad have 4. Andreas and Pucker, Noren and Plantero. And the Wenger boys, Cal Power, Ali Yakos, Martin Martins, and Ricardo Panizza are looking to see if they can take away victory in Category 1 and use their teams to their advantage here today. This is our final qualifier of January, the final chance to take away wins before we move into our finals next week, next Sunday, when that team competition comes into play for prizes. But today it could play a big part in deciding the outcome of the sprint competition, of the climb competition, and the race win overall.
Well, talking about race wins overall, Hayden Pucker took the Echelon Racing League Series win, and that has been running on Saturday since the start of December. He took that win yesterday in the championship race. He went head-to-head with Jason Osborne, and it was a superb race. Jason Osborne taking the win, Hayden Pucker around 20 seconds back at the end of the race. But boy, it was a good race. Apologies for the spoiler if you wanted to watch it. Can I just tell you...
Quick slap on the wrist there for giving you the spoiler, but you know what? I'm not surprised because it was phenomenal. And Bjorn Andreasen was really, really strong in that race, wasn't he?
He's been brilliant right the way through the Echelon Racing League. He's really, really been instrumental in the racing and really making the racing, which is fabulous to see. And he's doing the same again today as he tries to push on. And can I just say, we got 29 riders on the start sheets in Category 1. And welcome to Paul Wright to the Sunday Race Club, Category 1 from New Zealand. New rider for us on the Sunday Race Club. Finished 19th on GC on the Tour of Britain this year, well, last year in 2024.
Indeed, and that Tour of Britain was a truncated one from its normal length, but it contained a number of climbs that I've been out and ridden over the years. Very, very tough as well. Be interesting to see what Paul Wright can do here today on these climbs, because in lots of ways, this is a very very British style course.
It is actually, with the short, sharp, punchy climbs. And also, he's a good short, sharp, punchy rider because he also was 5th in the National Criterium Championships in 2023 in New Zealand. Short, punchy. He's going to be a good type of rider for the Sunday Race Club.
Well, we're going to see if he lives up to Emma's billing, as Thomas Stroll on the front, one of our riders known for his phenomenal sprint, is up there. Before we leave the Echelon Racing League alone, a massive, massive thank you to everybody who has been involved in that. It's been fantastic racing. Do go back and watch it. You can do that really easy. Just go onto My Whoosh on YouTube. I'm sure you're all subscribed. If not, please do subscribe. It really does help us. Jump on board. You can see Thomas Stroll in action in the Echelon Racing League. Do also please make sure you go on to the Echelon website. They're doing some fantastic work with veterans, and Eric and all of the team there. It's a massive thank you to them because it's been brilliant to see.
And I tell you, if you want to see a masterclass in sprinting, you need to watch Thomas Thrall against Neil Fryatt, because that was just fabulous.
So do jump on board. Do support the Echelon Racing League. Jump on board and race it when it is back. I'm sure it'll be back for more. Do support Echelon because the Echelon Racing Project, they have a road team as well. Help support them. Really, really important.
Yeah, interestingly, they also come over from the US and race the Tour of Britain.
Indeed, and you never know, we might well bump into them there or out and about on the roads. But if you're out and about, don't forget, lots of great people making the racing happen. People like Eric Hill from the Echelon Racing League. Now, just diving in with our riders at the moment, that little bit of a kicker over and done with, the group back together again. They are in Category 1 at 3K. In Category 3, they're a bit further up the road at 13.2K. PFL on the attack at the moment, just going over the top, continues to push. The small group of riders at the front is Fel Squalari. It's a small, it's 2 riders against the mass of the pack behind.
Well, I'll tell you something, Pierre Fell and Nick Squalari, that's a good duo, and they really need to work together. We've got Fell on our screen at the moment, and you can see him up and out the saddle, and also the concentration, headphones on, music probably pumping, and the two of them doing a great job as they go through the Alpha Hills. Now, getting a breakaway group of 2 through this section could be a great move, but they're going to have to work together, because when they get to the end of this sawtooth profiled climbing section, it's a 7.8 kilometer run to the base of the next climb. If you're in a duo who do not work together, you're not going to take the benefit of the gap that you achieve through this climb section. Well, that's Category 3. This is Category 2. And look at the stretch on the group. What a shot. SS leading the charge, and he's pushing on here. Krasnich is doing the chasing. Wozniak is there. So is Graves. Samuel Josh, the Canadian rider, still on the charge. This is the group where we had the Polish riders down the road with Samuel Josh early on. Now the pace being picked up by SS. This group are not letting it go. They are not letting the Category 2 riders have a steady start to this race.
They're not, and you know, Fell is a class rider. You know, his racing, his riding, his ability, indoors and out, definitely not to be discounted. And if you're going to go clear with somebody like Scolari. But, you know, interesting to see the response from these riders. We're just in with Zach now, the moment he's got SS and Phil Graves around. I think today, for me, how people respond and where they respond, how fast they chase those gaps down, how twitchy are people to anybody going clear. It's going to be really, really critical to measure your efforts. Measure your efforts. on the race route today. It's going to be really, really key. Chase down too many chases, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to find yourself getting caught back. Now, interestingly, Mr. X100 here, right at the front of this group, you can see behind there are riders being distanced. There are gaps that have opened because of the kicks and the response. Havo in here, interestingly, Havo and Fell ride together quite regularly. Two riders who maybe work together as a team here that we're going to see. We see that regularly riders start to race together and ride together, and that's going to be critical.
That attacking category 2 has split the group. We've got
ruined it.
Yeah, we've got multiple groups on the road. Even though that front group has come back together again, there are multiple groups now in category 2. This is the push from Bjorn Andreasen on the front here in the sprint, but they're coming. Oh, Ruben Don is kicking it from the back of the group to the front. Jasper Paradines is going as well, and I'll tell you, that is going to be a great head-to-head in the sprint competition. But it is Paradines who's in the sprint jersey. That was seriously close, but Jasper Paradines, what a sprint! 1,158 watts average for 200 meters to take the sprint in 11.985 seconds. Rick van Erck from category 3 setting the second fastest time. Ruben Dont in third. Andre Diedutch category 3. Jakob Bjorklund category 2. Luke Allport category 3. Joachim Stretting category 4. Jerry Pippinen category 3. Diego Narvaez category 4. And Moritz Ritter category 2. Smattered with multicoloured jerseys.
Brilliant racing, brilliant riding now. I mean, Jasper Paradines, he looks good in the green. Really good to see that he is on form, and I think could be a rider to watch.
Well, Paradines took the sprint overall in qualifier 1. Vidal Mayer took the sprint overall in qualifier 2 in the category 1 race. SS back on the charge in category 2. Mendakowicz, Skierski, Havo, Ospina, Darn, all at the front of the pack behind. They seem very happy at the moment to let SS push on. They're at the 10.1 kilometre marker. They are coming in to the Alpha Quar Hills next. A small flat running now before they get there. SS is pushing on at 6 watts per kilo. He's a strong time trialer and a strong time trial pace. X100, Bjarhead, Mendakowicz just watching the front of the group, but no real push coming on yet.
Yet we will see.
Oh, look at the stretch on category 3 on the right hand side though. They're at 16.7. They are on the other side now of the Alpha Quar Hills, and that is one long line of riders. The question is, are they all going to get back together again now that they're on the flatlands?
I've deep in thought actually at the moment. I have to admit, because I was just thinking about the riders and how they're playing this out and how they're riding on this one. It's a new course. It's not a course we've done before. It's a course that is going to test the riders. We know that, and yet these riders are being aggressive very early on in multiple categories at the moment, and that's really interesting to see at this stage in the racing. We're seeing move after move going. It doesn't matter whether it's category 1, category 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. People are prepared to take a bit of a punt, really go up the road, take a little bit of a gamble, test everybody else's legs. Brilliant to see that is happening across all of those categories. Category 1, last group of riders. I just got somebody just diving down the road, 8k in, 24.5k now, heading for 25k in. The very first riders out of the pens, category 6, and we have got that group really pushing here as they come up this climbing section here at 24.5 kilometers. I mean, they're basically into the second climbing section, the Vessel Rock climb.
Well, I think there's 11 riders in that group, so that's a really strong front group at the 24.8 kilometre marker in this category 6 race. Absolutely brilliant riding by all of them. Kutab, Martinoli, Kennett, Botero, Yates, Dadson, Abbott, et al. In this leading group. And if you look at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, there is a lot of daylight behind this group. So they're going into this climb really strongly.
They are, and I think let's see if Kennett can hold on to that polka dot jersey. He's the rider leading as they came in. He'll need to defend that on the climb. Meanwhile, Category 2, SS, up the road. He's continuing. He's being joined here by James Krasnich. Krasnich at the moment with 9 seconds back to the pack behind. He's seen SS go down the road. He's aware of the danger of that happening. He wants to get back on. And I think he's another of these riders who wants to make it hard early. He can see that we are coming up towards the Alpha Car Hills. He's going to come in with SS, I think, as the first riders in there. We've got this little rise that they're going over now, but then we climb up into the hills proper, and that is that long section that takes us through 3.7 kilometers of climb segment, half of which is going up and about half of which is going down. The polka dot banner signifying the start of that just in front of the riders.
Well, somebody had to mark SS out. I think the UAE clan team rider about to go under the polka dot banner signifying the start of the Alpha Qua Hills here on the My Wish Sunday Race Club. Krasnich goes under now at around 4 seconds. 14 seconds further back are the rest of the pack. In with Simon Walter, as you can see at the moment. He's right on the front of the group. Carlos Ospina, Lucas Hoffman is there as well. Mohamed El Alami, Alex van der Bulk is in there too as Carlos Ospina. The pace will pick up from the group. Walter picking up the pace, picking up the power as they go into the first of the climbs. There's an assumption here that they will bring those two riders back naturally through these climbs. Whether that plays out or not is going to be another matter.
Yes, the pressure is on as well. You hit the segments, and because I don't think it's just because the segments have prizes on them now, but you hit a segment and people just pick up the pace. They want to be up there. They're also worried that somebody else will do it. And sometimes it's not because anybody's going to do it. They're all just responding to each other as a preemptive response to an attack that never actually was going to come. And that is why you see that pace pick up. Matthias Van Heet at the moment just are holding the wheels as Simmons and Volta down up there, Bjarhead up there. The gap currently hovering around about 10 to 12 seconds to SS Krasnich, just that little bit closer. He's gone over the top. The time gaps will yo-yo. The time gaps are a live time gap based on distance covered and speed that the riders are traveling. So those time gaps are fluid. They will go up and down as the terrain and speed of the riders change, and that is going to be really, really critical. What will that time gap be coming out? Will they have stayed away? Difficult to do so with the pressure on here. You can see from the radar view that where Matthias Van Heet is out of the saddle at the moment in his pain cave, his avatar is right at the front of this group. He's in that big pack behind. Riders in ones and twos are being distanced. They're then coming back together again. They're being distanced, coming back. You can only do that so many times. Krasnich can only respond so many times. He's pushed on here to try and get SS back. Unfortunately for him, he didn't make that wheel, and he's got the pack coming. And now it's about making sure. I think it's pretty inevitable he'll get caught back. Will he then be able to jump in, or will he get distance? Category 2 right side of the screen, that's all action. Category 1, we've got Thomas Stroll on the move again.
Well, he's doing an SS.
He is.
He's going
same
clear.
Place almost.
Well, it is actually. You're quite right. Almost exactly the same place as SS, pushing on between the bump on the road and the sawtooth profile of the Alpha Qua Hills, which are coming up for Category 1. Jason Osborne very quickly closing down Thrall. Pucker straight onto Osborne's wheel. Knudsen is there. Vujasin, Kroll, Power, all coming back. This big group of Category 1. The pack is rolling, and they are rolling strongly. Thomas Thrall coming back into the group. As they go past one of the Category 2 riders, the earlier starting riders out on the course side. Safra Zaidi is there, Vidal Mayer is there, Paul Wright, the new rider to the Sunday Race Club, is in the mix as well. Great to see the pack rolling and rolling strongly. They're coming up for the 12-kilometre marker, which will see them enter the first climbing segment of the day. Here's the question for you, Matt.
Go on.
How much of this pack are going to be together at the end of the first climbing segment?
82.5% apart from Jason Osborne. There you go. Instant answer. I think Osborne's going to go kick and try and go clear and try and solo from there to the finish.
I don't.
I think he'll try. I don't think he will, but I think he's going to try because I think he knows how strong he is, and if he gets a gap, he will not be chased down because I think they'll all go, well, we're racing for second then.
I tell you what, Henry, he's pushing on at the moment.
He is, and that's the right sort of rider, who wouldn't let a gap go anywhere because he knows he can be in the mix. He's up here with Guerra at the moment. Those are the two riders. They are trying to chase down the riders in front. They know that they want to get the gap. We've got East here kicking on. Guerra is up there. You've got Squilari behind.
This is a good group,
He's felt these. I'm not sure why these four are not working together.
Well, it's an interesting move, isn't it? Guerra is off the front. So Nathan Guerra in one. Henry Yeast closing the gap. Nick Squilari and Pierre Fell. 4 riders now. Johan Moreno is not far behind. That could well make 5. But the gap, well, it's 24 seconds back to the main pack of Category 3 riders. This group, they need to work together. They are strong. They really need to get motoring now because that could be the leading group for the rest of the race.
It could be a race-winning move if they get themselves. Stop arguing, stop bickering, children.
Nobody's
get back
bickering.
Together, get on with it, and stop attacking each other and go for it. Go for it and get clear. That's key here. Now, back in with Category 2, as we come up towards the end of the Alpha Gear Hills. This is the sprint for the segment because these riders are making the way through. SS is not going to get that segment. He came in early. Skeersey came in with a bunch. He pulled back SS. He's taking away the polka dot skin suit here. So the fastest time through came in the bunch, caught up with SS. He's up at the front with Havo, SS, Bendetti, Nair, Buster, all starting to come through that section. The group, though, has split. There are 1 or 2 riders now going to have to fight very quickly to get back onto the wheels because the pack has the draft advantage. And if that pack move fast, they will leave the riders they've distanced behind.
Well, 29 riders in that main group. So from Skierski back to the main bunch, 29 riders in total. Great job. Lovely polka dot skin suit, looking great on his back.
And loving that emote there, just giving us the...
And a real life emote as well.
real life emote. It's fantastic to see Paul Skierski here. Great result for him. Now, he's in the prime spot for polka dot jerseys for taking away that overall because he's already got points in the bag. 5 points for the win, 4, 3, 2, and 1 for 2, 3, 4, and 5th, second, third, fourth, and fifth positions. So basically, it's the reverse of your positions. Is the points in the top 5, and he's in prime spot. He's got that polka dot skin suit on now, and that means that if he can stay with this group, climb with them, get over the top, he's assured already of the prize for the segment. Segment prize in Category 2. It's not to be sneezed at for sure.
No.
And Category 1, they're not far off that place as well. 2 to 1. What the prize is for the segment?
So
Emma?
segment prize in Category 2 is 200 AED. That is €52, £43 or $54 as of Emma's exchange only. In Category 1, it's 250 AED or €65, £54 or $66 US.
There you go. Those are the figures at the moment on by Emma's exchange. As we go in with Michael Kaminsky, the rider there kicking out the saddle, the avatar out the saddle as well, pushing at the moment 10.5 watts per kilo as they come up this little climb in this roller coaster section with Justin Osborne and Andreasen. We've also got Joe's got Puckett in here, a real who's who of esports racing in the men's race here today in Category 1. 6 race categories out on the road, the top of 4 categories on your screens at the moment, but Category 1 in that key segment. It's key for the climbs. It's key for the racing. It's going to do a lot of damage to the legs. Will we see anybody go clear? Will we see a breakaway? Will we see this group be whittled down some more? It's already lost riders. The end of this segment will give us a good indication of where they are and who is going to be in the running as we move on.
No, it is indeed. And still a big group at the front, mind you. Safrazadi, Mayer, Tugels, Knudsen, Vuyasin, Panitza, Osborne, Pucker, all in here, all doing a superb job at the moment. 1 or 2 riders getting distance from the back of the group. It was a big group coming in. It's going to be a big group going out, but it's not going to be quite as big as it was. Andreasen is in there as well. We're in with Ollie Jones in his pain cave on the screen as well as they push over the penultimate ultimate rise on this section. There is one more to go. In fact, they can see that climb ahead of them. Van Elst is here as well. Stefan Van Elst has been riding really well as well this month. So took third place last week to Osborne and Vink. Took the climbing competition as well last week. So a great day out at the office on the Sunday Race Club last Sunday. Can he match it again today? Ollie Jones kicking, really, I think, wanting this climbing segment because that's a massive push. Vidal Mare responding, so is Mikhail Kaminski, Jason Osborne as well. But who is going to take the segment? Who is going to look resplendent in the polka dot jersey? It is indeed Ollie Jones.
Nice riding by Jones. They're taking away the points. They're taking away the prize for the first segment of the day. His time 4 minutes 46.356 seconds, 0.067. So that is 6 hundredths, nearly 7 hundredths of a second difference between first and second place.
So I'm going to tell you, 18 riders in that leading group going through underneath that polka dot banner together in Category 1. Ollie Jones, Vidal Mare, Mikhail Kaminski, Jason Osborne, Michael Knudsen, Bjorn Andresen, Johan Noren, Lionel Vujasin, Syed Safrazadi, Leonard Tugels, Daniel Turek, Hayden Pucker, Kel Power, Stefan Van Elst, Christoph Kroll, Lyndon Millerstick, Arnie Jacobs and Ricardo Panizza. What a group.
If you were to look at the current crop of riders on esports, who's missing? Vink?
Michael Vink's not on the start sheets today.
It's about, but you look at the group and you just think, if you were to say pick 18 riders, 20 riders, you're in that. They're going to be the names that you're talking about.
Well, yes, but I think there's a few others as well. And I also think,
yes, I'm not saying it's the only ones.
No, they're not the only ones, but they are right.
There's nobody in there who shouldn't be there.
No, Thomas Thrall and Bruce Bird raced yesterday.
Yes.
They are off the back of the pack now. Also, Mikel Plantero not in the group. He's a little bit further back too. David Talbot and Martin Martins as well.
So we're going to see if he is able to get back as we see the world champion in that jersey one in Abu Dhabi in October of 2024. Jason Osborne starting to wind on the front, starting to show those colours up at the very front of the race, and you can see the result lined out on the road now. Category 1, riders distance behind. He does not want to let them come back, and that is a thought that is shared by a lot of this group on the front, because as soon as Osborne comes off, there are others ready and waiting to take up the reins to keep this charge rolling. 18.7k covered. People being distanced in Category 1. Category 2, while they're a little bit further up the road, as are Category 3, in fact, on to the second of our climbs, as are Category 4, and over the top of the banner, Maciej Skierski goes through. Surely that is him now secured, not just with one win in the points for the climb, but a second win in the climb segment, and also taking away the overall in Category 4. Just seeing him come over the line on the right-hand bottom of your screen.
Yeah, he is indeed, and that is great to see. And I'm just taking a look on the Category 3 on the left-hand side, whether our breakaway group of 4 are still clear on the climb. And that is going to be an interesting one to take a look at. But Edwards climbing well, Karlstrom climbing well, Kalman climbing well, Tidholm is there as well. It's going to be a great race today.
Really interesting the way the racing is playing out. Very aggressive racing in all of these race categories. Skierski really racing for those climbing points, going off, just being closed down by Isif. Meanwhile, Category 3, we've seen that attack. We've seen that stay clear. That's still 20 seconds up the road at the moment in Category 3 with that breakaway that's gone clear. Category 1, we've got a rider on the attack at the moment from the leading group as well. Just starting to break that up again and being chased by Osborne. You can see at the moment the riders on your screens, the riders that we're dealing with at the moment. So top two or bottom, the avatar matching the rider, some very interesting things. And you can see that we've got both skis in here. We've got Powell and Masiek in here in categories 2 and category 4. Always love families that are out and racing together. I wonder if they're in the same location. Guys, are you in the same place or are you in different locations?
Well, they're obviously not in the same room.
Might have a green wall and a white wall.
Well, that's very true. Who knows? But they are indeed both doing the business on the Sunday Race Club at the moment, just in different categories. As we see 4 categories on our screen at the moment. Category 1 on the top left, Category 2 top right, Category 3 bottom left, Category 4 bottom right, and Matthias Kalman is absolutely dialing it at the moment. But I can tell you the group of 4 riders are indeed still down the road in Category 3. They're 20 seconds clear of the chase from Matthias Kalman. Category 1 is Bjorn Andreasen yet again on the front. Really wanting to do the business at the moment. 20.7 kilometres raced in the Category 1 race. They're on the flatlands at the moment, and Andreasen is dialing it.
That move of his where he went clear off the front, he doesn't want this to be an easy race today. You'd think I wonder whether he's thinking, well, we need to make this hard because there was a hard race yesterday, and maybe if we accumulate enough fatigue over yesterday's race and today's race, we're going to put some damage into Osborne. Because he was racing hard yesterday, he's racing hard again today. And it may well be that by having a slightly easier race yesterday, he can now stick it to him today.
He's on the Farm Watts squad with Hayden Puckett and Johan Noren and Mikael Plantero. It could well be team tactics. You are quite right.
Maybe. It's not the first time.
It won't be the last.
Well, yeah, that's something because I make loads of predictions. Some of them about to come right now. In with category 2, I'm going to predict this is one man who's not going to give up. It is Mr. X100 chasing to get back on to this leading group at the moment as they come through the start of this climb. He doesn't want to be distanced away from this group. He wants to give himself the best chance. This climb is one where he's going to need to sit at a pace. They're working the way in through category 3. Riders Beatty just being passed here by Mr. X100. He's on to the wheels of Sebastian Havo. You've got Ned Buster, Nico Van He and Co in front of him. That is a big pack of riders. Getting into that draft is key. We're still traveling at 37 kilometers an hour. That draft has an effect. These riders need to be in the mix. We are making our way at 24.5k in up on to the climb. This will be critical.
Well, the leading group, I'm just going to give you an update on category 3, the 4 riders going through the top of the Vessel Rock climb together. That was indeed Pierre Fell, Henry Yeast, Nick Scolari and Nathan Guerra, chased by 20 riders in the chase group in category 3. This is category 2 we are in with at the moment on the same climbing section. Mohammed El Alami, the man with the best bike art in the business, on his wall behind him. He's also got the legs to match it. Because he's a strong rider in category 2 on the Sunday Race Club, with Don, with Bierhead, with Nico, with Havo and Walter as well. They are also doing the chasing. It's Phil Graves. He's one of the riders up the road. Marcin Trosznowski is there as well. So is X100, but the pack now swarming over the top.
It is like a big squadron of bees going over. They are just rolling around. They're changing position. But look at this. Mr. X100 is not wanting to let anything move on here. 25.4k into this race. We've still got more climbing to go. Graves is up the road. So is Trojanoski. Meanwhile, in category 1, Jason Osborne just testing his legs out. Osborne tests his legs. The rest of the group respond. As Osborne shuts down, the group come back. How many times can they hold the world champion back? He is looking like he really means business here today. He's not letting much go down the road. He's responding very quickly, and then he's shutting down. He's testing them. He's probing. He's seeing just what they can do. How much have they got in the tank? How often can they respond, and how quick is that response?
Well, how many of those riders in that Category 1 pack are part and parcel of the let's send riders down the road and make Osborne work gang? And how many riders does it take in Cat 1 to beat Jason Osborne?
Lots. At the moment, he is on a serious fade of form. I mean, he's absolutely flying at the moment. But that's true of riders across all of our race categories. Now, we're going to take a little bit of a dive across to categories 5 and 6. It's been a little while since we've been in with them. We're in with both our Dadsons at the moment. Mark Dadson in category 5 and Cameron Dadson in category 6. Cameron currently laying in 7th place in the category 6 race, and not far behind Mark Dadson in the leading group in category 5, starting to close down on Cameron. It won't be long till Cameron could see them in the rear view mirror if he had any.
Well, I tell you what, that's a massive pack of category 5 leaders, still at the 35.2 kilometre marker. They're coming to the top of that climbing segment, and then they've got the long downhill run and the move into the final climb of the day. But that is one big group.
It's a big group coming, and they're coming up fast at the moment on the riders in front. Don't forget, this is all about making sure that you're in contention for the overall as well as for the segment prizes. This group are chasing. They're coming up towards the top of the climb here.
Do you know there's not a big gap back either?
There's not a big gap. And this front group, we're looking, what, 9, 10, 11, 12 riders, Emma, in the leading group. But behind them, there's riders that could get there as well. So
Look at the dig. Look at the dig from Xavier Maillard at the moment. The phenomenal amount of work going in to get onto the back of that group, getting onto Mark Dadson's wheel. Absolutely nailing it and knowing that if he's not in the mix now, he's not going to be anywhere near at the finish. So Maillard doing a phenomenal job. Scott Francis, the next rider back with Christophe Labneau and Florian Dromard. But Maillard joining Smithson, Dadson, Tortoretto, Warren, et al. In this leading group.
Really interesting. I mean, I'm just looking at this and just thinking, we've got riders racing up to the top of that section. You can see that in the category 5 race at the moment, going over the top of that section there. Category 6 leader Dylan Kennett has gone over the top. Yep. He's got that skin suit. That's his now. There are no more climbs. There's no more climbing points that are going to disappear from him. He has taken away the win in both of those. Got that overall position, but he's also put him in the lead here, 23 seconds in the lead, and he's on that descent. Now, in other categories and in the preceding race, we saw riders coming back together on the top section before they went into the descent, because the top of the climb, the last climbing part of that mountain section, the central mountain section, it's flat for a long time. You can regroup and then go diving down. At the moment, though, Kennett has got the gap. 23 seconds is doable to take it to the finish. Will that be the case? Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's a long run in. The final climb starting. That kicks in. Comes in at just after the sprint, so that is going to kick in just about the 45 kilometre marker. Remember today's race, 47.8k. Meanwhile, back with category 1, somebody sort of the road. Who would it be?
Who would it be? Jason Osborne?
Yep. 7 seconds.
He's kicked early, hasn't he? He's kicked early at the just going into the Vessel Rock climb, and he's pushing on now on this section. It's at 8 seconds. So Osborne pushing on. Knudsen now leading the charge behind with Ollie Jones, Leonard Tugels, Hayden Pucker. They're all in the mix at the front of the pack. That pack's so tight. They look like they're one rider all on top of each other on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. But Osborne is now dialing it on the front, and he's having to put in huge numbers to keep that gap. It's not a big gap, and this climb, it's really interesting because it goes up and then it goes flat, it goes up and then it goes flat, and it gives respite to the riders and allows them to keep the pace fairly high
It does. It's sprint, stop, sprint, stop, sprint, stop, which is difficult if you're a rider who likes a good, strong pace all the way up. Pavel Skierski here sprints over the top. He really did use his last kick there to his advantage. He's going to take away the polka dot skin suit because he has taken 2 wins out of 2. Here to see him at the top of the screens there with that polka dot skin suit. Havo had it briefly off him, but at the moment, it's Skierski who's shown with that skin suit.
Well, it is indeed Skierski because of the points in the overall climbing competition. Sebastian Havo actually fastest up the Vessel Rock climb in category 2.
So really interesting. He will get rewarded the fastest time up that segment.
Tell you what, 19 riders in that group.
It's going to be rewarded. He has got prizes, but with 19 riders in that group, it's going to be difficult when you come in to the finish. They're going to need to try and break that down before they get on that final climb, unless they're confident they are a good climber. Meanwhile, a lot lower down those slopes, but coming up quickly is Jason Osborne. The gap currently up to 15 seconds, and this could well be. This is game over for the rest of the race, unless Jason Osborne has a major disaster.
Well, he's got 20 kilometres still to go in the race. He's only just over halfway on the 47.8 kilometre race, and Osborne now 12 seconds the gap.
But everybody else is looking and thinking, well, we've still got a second place. We've still got the climb segments potentially. But the climb segments, this one's going to go to Osborne. Where are we going to go with that? But I think this is now about racing for the rest of the positions behind. And then they're reliant on something going wrong for Osborne, going too early. One of the key things that plays the platform really, and the Sunday Race Club really encourages attacking riders, particularly if you are in categories 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, because you're always chasing somebody. And there's always riders. If you're in category 6, you have to wait till people come up to you. But what you find is if you're on the attack in category 1, you've got a lot of people in front to catch. It's not like if all these riders were in their own little worlds in each category, so each category had its own race, without being able to draft, there wouldn't be that advantage. Osborne has got a carrot to chase after.
Oh, he's got lots of carrots.
There's lots of incentive.
He's got 201 carrots currently on the road ahead of him.
And that shows you just how many people he can chase. And it encourages these breakaways. It encourages riders to push that little bit more.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think there's 2 types of motivation in a bike race. And there's 2 types of motivation, and different riders like different things. Some riders like riders to chase, and they like the chase. So Osborne having 201, well, actually now he's got 198 riders ahead of him because he's already gone past 2. Seeing a rider making the catch going past, Dylan Kennett, on the other hand, the rider leading the race, there are other riders who like the motivation of staying clear.
Well, I hope he's one of those because he's at the front. He's got a gap and he's been at the front a long time. So we will see. I'm sure everybody can think of many, many more motivations to race than just those 2. But of course, they are 2 key types, and riders need to know what they are. You have to race to your strengths. Now, coming up to the end of this Vessel Rock segment behind Osborne, Ollie Jones goes through with Mikhail Kaminsky. And interestingly, Mikhail Kaminsky must have been very close on points there. It is going to go to Jones. He's going to take away the overall win. But that would say to me that Osborne, with that fastest time, came through. And look at that difference between Kaminsky and Jones. Well, it's less than half a second.
And it's 1 point in the climbing competition. So back on the Alpha Hills, it was Jones, Mayer, and Kaminsky. The Vessel Rock climb, it's Osborne, Kaminsky, Jones. But Jones, having 1 additional point over Mikhail Kaminsky on the earlier climb, gives him the polka dot skin suit. Now on the Vessel Rock climb, Jason Osborne sets the fastest time, 6 minutes 54 seconds. Kaminsky, Jones, Vu, Yasin, Knudsen, Van Elst, Mayer, Pucker, Noren, and Andreasen, all from category 1. Syed Safrazedi and Leonard Hugels also go through. Before Sebastian Havo, the fastest time in category 2. The fastest time in category 3, Robert Edwards from the Anzacs. The fastest time in category 4, Nicholas Trujillo in that category 4 race in Category 5. The fastest time set by, I'm nearly there, there he is, Jonas Goman. He sets the fastest time in Category 5. And in Category 6, Dylan Kennett set the fastest time up the climb.
So, here we go. Mr. X100 chasing the group in front. There is Geldins just in front of him. In fact, there he is. He's got the sprint leader just in front of him. They are currently on the front of this race. They've been making it hard all the way through this mountain section up in the mountains. Remember, this is at 32.8k, so they've come through the Face Rock Sprint in Category 2. At the moment, it's going to be Howard Gednes who has got that sprint leader's jersey, but I don't think it's as clear-cut in Category 2 as some of the other categories, certainly in terms of who's going to take that overall, because we still, remember, have the Siamese Rock Sprint. That comes at 44.2 to 44.4k. That is right before we go on to our final climb. Really difficult place to sprint and then perform on the climb. So really, riders have to make that decision coming in to that section. At the moment, though, these two riders are on the front and making their way through the mountain section before they drop back down. This is coming up, so you come out of the Face Rock Sprint, you climb up. There's a little point to this peak before you have a little level section, drops back down, and then the last climb of the mountain, the mid mountains of this race route. Behind our leaders is a train of riders here, because this is going to be really interesting. Our two leaders, Mr. X100 and Gednes, at 17 seconds, Nico Nair, Theme, Walter Skirski, and the rest of this chasing pack currently sitting 17 seconds down.
Wow.
It's a big gap.
Wow.
Big gap.
Still a good race to go, though. Still 14 plus kilometres to go in this Category 2 race. And the group are never adverse to chasing in Category 2. I think they're going to be waiting for that climb coming at the 44.2 kilometre mark. Well, actually, that's the sprint that comes at 44.2 kilometres, but the final climb coming not long after that, and around the 45 kilometre marker. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
It is now. Diving back in with the Iceman himself, Stefan van Elst is currently still looking super cool, super calm. Sat in with this group as they go through the sprint here at the moment. And that is the Face Rock Sprint. And look at this. They are just tapping a rhythm out. They are sat in this group. They are, I don't think there is the slightest hint of a chase here, not a sniff of one as they go through. And that is going to be reflected in the pace they go through. Rick Van Aert, the fastest time through the Face Rock Sprint, 12.596, splinteringly quick time through there. Absolutely fantastic from Skrettin, from Bjorklund, Gomez, Alan Young, Didat, Stong, Segura, Taggart, and Allport. What's missing from this picture? We have not got a single yellow jersey, because I think they have all decided, well, we aren't going to get the leader back.
Shall I tell you who the fastest Category 1 rider was and where they finished?
Let me guess. It was Osborne.
No.
Pushing on. No, really? Oh, no. Okay.
It was Johan Norren.
Really?
In 75th place.
You're kidding me?
No, I'm just going to try and find Jason Osborne.
Waiting.
Having a look.
It's where we need some like really naff hold music that you get when you're like waiting in a lift or on the phone for the utilities companies.
I'm singing for you.
Don't sing. Right.
Oh,
anyway.
no. Hold on.
Thank goodness she's found it. Go on.
No.
Don't
I found
sing.
Daniel Turek going through in 43rd place.
Oh, okay. This is an improvement.
Jason Osborne. 31st, actually, Jason Osborne. It's because he's in the white jersey with the rainbow stripes. He doesn't
Jason,
come up.
So was I right or was I right?
You
Jason
were, okay, all right. Let me
because he's pushing on.
Matthew, yes, you were correct. Jason Osborne sets the fastest time in Category 1 in 31st place.
Oh, you can tell she's not. I got called Matthew. Right, Dylan Kennett leading the race out on the right. I'm going to quit what's ahead, I think. Dylan Kennett on the right-hand side of the screen as my co-colleague finds something big enough and heavy enough to throw across from the side of the studio to my side of the studio over here.
Never.
Yeah, right. As we watch this sprint unfold here in Category 5, Ola Warren on the front there. Jonas Goman, though, came through from behind. He came through at pace. You can see just in front of him, Riley Milostic, actually in Category 6 with that sprint jersey. We're still looking to see where the sprint jersey's gone on Category 5, and I don't think it's going to come from this group. I think it's further back.
Elsewhere.
It is elsewhere, and I think that's because the mountain section in the middle has killed off the sprinters on the way through, as it often does. Now, that's Category 5 on the right-hand side of your screen. They're almost onto the wheels of the leaders in Category 6. They're not far away. Meanwhile, the leader of Category 1, remember Category 1 with the last group to go, is currently over 10 kilometres behind. That is Jason Osborne. Jason Osborne has about 1 million kilometres between him and the chasing group behind, who at the moment are all just drinking coffee and having a chat.
No, he doesn't. He has 400 metres.
He's 38 seconds down the road.
Well, it's still only 450 metres.
It doesn't matter how far it is. He's gone. That's it. Game over. Game over. He's away. The rest of them now are racing. There's still, I tell you something, it's a good job we've got prizes to 10th place now, because it gives them all something to race for, because at the moment he's gone. They're going to be scratching their heads and having a chat about how do we beat Jason Osborne? What do we do? How can we sabotage him? Can we just race off?
Well, do you know what? I can't wait for the final next week when the team
really
competition comes into play, because Jason Osborne's team are going to be trying to protect him, and the other teams are going to be trying to attack him. It's going to be brilliant.
Don't forget, next week is the finals. The team competition comes into play with those big, ginormously huge team prizes that will be kicking off. The biggest prize, in fact, the biggest solo prize, actually, or the biggest prize for one particular thing, let's be very precise about this, is the Category 1 team prize.
Shall I tell you how much it is?
Go on then.
The Category 1 team prize in play next week is 35,000 AED. Okay, that is 9,100 euros, 7,500 pounds, or 9,500 US dollars, as of Emma's exchange only, for the winning team.
In Category 1. Now, that is why we are so looking forward to it. Not because we're giving away loads of money here on My Wish, but because we know that it will change those dynamics again. And that's one of the great things. The strategy will come into play. There is one strategy for Dylan Kennett, who's at 45.9k. He is on the little bit of a kick here.
I'll tell you, they're coming.
This is going to be very interesting because he's on to the final climb. His gap had been 30 seconds. At the moment, Botero has it at 18 seconds. He's got Yates, Martinoli, Abbott, Milostic, and Co chasing. But realistically, Botero, Yates, and Martinoli are the only riders I think that are going to see our leader again. And it may just be in the distance behind them, and it's not very far behind. Coming up onto the wheels pretty quickly here, I think, are going to be our Category 5 leaders. They're on the left of your screen, Category 6 on the right.
Yeah, Yusuf Khalili is in there at the moment and doing great work with Simon Betts and Kevin Motman. Jonathan Cridland is the rider towards the back of the group. And actually, Felipe Tortoretto, who was in the group last time we were with them, is now off the back by 3 seconds with Ola Warren.
So do you think Cridland or Betts, who've both got a win so far in January, can take another win here today, given that it is a climbing finish again?
Oh, interesting. Cridland is a phenomenal climber.
He's got the polka dot skin suit saying that I can do,
he is.
You know,
and he took that in qualifier 1 in January in Alula. He's a really strong climber. He would be the rider in Category 5 with a mountain finish.
And that's what we got. We got a really
that I would be looking at.
And it goes on and on. You need to be able to keep the pace if you kick. You can see Dylan Kennett up the road at the moment. It's 400 meters. I mean, we are climbing, so it's a tough 400 meters sandwiched in between Botero, Yates, and Martinoli, trying to close down on Kennett. Kennett's still holding them off at 20 seconds. Where Kennett could come unstuck here, Kennett could be in trouble because as the chasing group on the left, which is the leaders in Category 5, come past the chasers
look at the
in
difference.
Category 6, they could try and jump on, and it might make a difference, but I think those Category 5 leaders are also going to catch Kennett potentially, and that could bring that down. Could be really interesting to see.
I don't think so, because take a look at the difference in terms of the climbing. Betts just backed off, actually. It was around 4.4 watts per kilo, and they're climbing much stronger than the Category 6 races, as you would expect, which is why they're making the catch. I don't think at this point in the race, at 46.5 kilometres, you are going to see those Category 6 riders able to climb with these. Now, it's quite interesting because at the moment it's only 3%. So it's quite a shallow gradient at the moment in the area where they may well make the catch. But towards the end of the climb, where the finish line is, it gets steeper again and kicks. And absolutely no way those Category 6 riders will hang on to the Category 5 when we see that change in gradient.
Let's see if that prediction comes true. Remember, the race today finishes at 47.8 kilometres, which means that our race leader, Dylan Kennett, has got less than 1 kilometre to the finish. He's on the bottom right-hand side of his screen. He's been chased by Botero, Martinoli and Yates in his category. They are 7 seconds ahead of the leaders in Category 5. They're on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. That's Tortoretto, Goman and Betts. And they are not on a mission to chase. They're on a mission to attack. And Jonas Goman has gone in Category 5 here. And that means that the chase is on. Betts is responding, so is Motmans. There's no side of Cridland. So Category 5, an attack on the left of your screen by Jonas Goman. He knew they were coming up on other riders. He wanted to get the draft. He has broken clear. He's got 2 seconds on Simon Betts. Betts the fastest to respond. Kelly is chasing as well here. He's at 4, but has Jonas Goman done the move here? This is an incredible move by him. He jumped, he made the gap, and he now has to make it stick. The run for the line is a long, painful drag up the road. Goman can see in front of him Dylan Kennett, the figure in the white polka dots. This is mano a mano, to quote the great Hugh Potter, who I cut my commentary teeth with. This is one of his phrases, because Kennett is in front. Behind him is Goman, and Betts is coming as well. Goman cannot relax here because he's being matched whop for whop by Simon Betts, and Betts is closing on him. In fact, behind Betts is Kelly, and then Motmans, then Cridland. This is going to come down to those last few meters. The UCI banner is in sight. Kennett should surely hold on to take away the win, to take a solo win in Category 6. He's taken the polka dot skin suit. He's the best climber in the day in Category 6. He's the first rider over the line in qualifier race number 3. Your race winner, it's Dylan Kennett.
Well, Betts, Goman, Carlili are coming behind, and Simon Betts has got the better of the group. Simon Betts takes the win in Category 5, but the racing was hard and strong behind. Jonas Goman, Youssef Khalili come through in 2nd and 3rd place. Cridland and Motmans are battling it out. Martinoli and Yates are side by side for 2nd place in Category 6. Nicoli Martinoli, Simon Yates, neck and neck. That is a cracking race as well. That one is going to go to Stephen Yates, I think. Martinoli in 3rd.
Wow, what a set of race finishes. So Category 5 is Betts from Goman, from Khalili, from Motmans, and then Cridland. They are your top 5 in Category 5, with Tortoretto coming in 6th, Ola Warren coming in 7th place. It's Kennett from Yates, from Martinelli, from Botero in Category 6, followed in over the line. That's going to be very shortly by the rest of that Category 5 group. Meanwhile, Category 4 chasing hard here. Our leader is Urek Iosif. Iosif at the moment clear by 12 seconds from a big chase impact. Lopera, Grona, West and home. They're on the right-hand side of your screen. Meanwhile, left-hand side of your screen, I think Henry East is in the lead here. Just checking out the blues, light blue and dark blue, two similar colours, making it very entertaining when we're looking at dots.
Yeast and Fell. Yeast is in the lead here, 8 seconds up the road from Fell, who is up the road from Guerra by 8 seconds. This leading group of 4 that we had in the Category 3 race that had gone clear of the main bunch, doing the business on the climb, but now all separated.
Well, Jurek Isef is going to be the rider in Category 4. He's making his way up towards the line here. There's a train of riders in other categories in front, but he's at the front of Category 4, 5 seconds clear of the chasers behind. Jurek Isef has shown his colours, and they are going to be yellow. It will be a yellow skin suit as the winner of Category 4 here in qualifier race number 3. Jurek Isef, winner of Category 4.
Well, I can tell you the chase is on behind because Juan Lepera is fighting it out with Groen in the battle for second and third place in that Category 4 race. And it was indeed, Juan Lepera who took second place in that battle.
Now, Henry East in Category 3 on the climb. This is the dark blue of East. He is clear. The rider behind him, the small figure you can see in the background, is Pierre Fell. East has to give this absolutely everything. You can see him on the left-hand side of your screen in person. He knows that time is there. He's got just under a K to go. He's 900 meters to hold on. Pierre Fell is chasing hard behind it. Fell currently at 6 watts per kilo. East at 4.5. East cannot let this gap come down too far. There's still distance to go. Fell can't kick too hard too soon to bring him back, and he can't relax because Guerra is only at 10 seconds back. This is going to be close as they run into the finish. 5 seconds or so separating our leader. He's yo-yoing a little. It's back to 6. It's down to 5. East and Fell. Fell's kick at the moment. He's still at 6 watts per kilo. Can he pull back? He's out of the saddle. He's stamping those gears round. He's putting down some big watts here. 6.6. That's East in front of him. These two are going to come back together. Has East got a response to Fell coming onto his wheel? East has got a kick. He's got to use it, and he's got to use it fast. Here comes Pierre Fell. He's onto the wheel of Henry East. East leading. Fell in second.
Well, Pierre Fell comes onto the wheel of Henry Yeast. The UCI banner is coming very, very shortly. They've got around 300 meters to go, but Yeast picks up the pace again. Can Fell hold it? Fell sits back down. The cadence is high. I think Yeast is going to get this. Pierre Fell is out of this. The effort was too big to come back and then go over the top. Came back to Henry Yeast's wheel. Yeast did not panic. Henry Yeast is going to pull away from Pierre Fell and take the win in Category 3 today. He went away with the leading group of 4 riders. They split on the climb, and Henry Yeast takes the top spot in Category 3 today. He comes underneath the UCI banner to take number 1 spot. Congratulations to Henry Yeast. Phenomenal job.
Pierre Fell comes up to the line in second place, chasing Yeast all the way he goes through, takes the second place ahead of Nathan Guerra, who's going to be taking away third place as he comes up to the line. Nathan Guerra, it's going to be a third place for Guerra in and through the line. If they were getting mullers, it'd be the bronze variety heading in his direction. What a ride, though, by East at the front of that race. When you get attacked on the way into the line, what a master. He waited and
panic.
waited. He did not blink. He let him get to him. And then the moment he got there, you saw the kick and you saw the despondency there in Fell because he knew he'd put everything into the chase, and then he's kicked again. Talk about kicking a man when he's down.
Well, just fabulous riding and fabulous racing from Henry Yeast, and really coming into his own in that Category 3. I think that's his second win.
East's second win.
Could be his third. But Matt's going to check it out now. Well, Nico, I tell you what, has been dominant in Category 2, and he's right on the front at the moment. They're on the climb. 2.4 kilometres still to go for Category 2, and David Nico right at the front of the race. There's a 7-second gap now back to the chasing group, but the chasing group is large. Walter, Theme, Nair, Havo, Skierski, a real mix of riders in that group, and they are following this man up the mountain, David Nico.
I mean, that is third win.
Way.
It's his third win. and his most recent by some time as well. So yeah, really good riding by our riders. Brilliant to see all of these riders coming in. The full results on mywhoosh.com. Just jump onto mywhoosh.com, go to the menu bar. You can catch results. You can go onto the events. You can check out what's coming your direction. And don't forget, of course, you can make sure whilst you're online to subscribe to the My Whoosh YouTube channel to catch myself, Matt Payne, and Emma Martin bringing you all of the action from the Sunday Race Club. Plus, of course, lots of great rice and racing. We've got lots of back catalogues to have a look at, as if there's not enough bike racing. We have indeed. Oh, yes. There are some real greatest hits of My Whoosh, including that $1 million championship from 2023, the World Championships from 2024, where Jason Osborne, the man on the right-hand side of your screen, and Mary-Kate McCarthy took their rainbow jerseys in that first in-person finale. Osborne at the moment at 45.5k, leading Category 1. The lead of Category 2, not quite so clear-cut by just a little bit.
I'll tell you something, the lead of Category 2, only 500 metres up the road from Jason Osborne. I think Osborne could well make the catch here.
He will.
Before the UCI banner that is the finish line today. Now, Zach Nair, SS, Christoph Thiem, Simon Walter, Trojanowski, Buster, they are all in the mix here. They're chasing Dorvik Nitko. He's just 2 seconds ahead now because the move is on from the group. They know the finish line is coming. It's 1.5 kilometres up the road, and they know the time is now. They know they need to move because it's a big group. Bjarhead is in there, as well as Graves. This is a huge group of riders who could, any one of these riders could win this Category 2 race today.
100%. Anyone can take this down. This is key. This is when it counts. You're into the last bit. It's no point doing all this work now to get blown away in the last gate. You really need to push. Remember, 47.8k is the distance. 1,000 meters. That red kite, the traditional red kite, will be flying inside here as we run in. It's a long run to the finishing line. The pressure is on. This line is stringing out now at the moment, though. You can see we've still got our polka dot skin suit in here of Paul Skierski, and so many of our wins have been taken in our categories by riders who can climb, and he's shown he can climb today. Trojanowski is in here. That early prediction that this would be a suit that that suited him even is definitely playing out. He's right in the mix. SS in here. Nitko. They're right on the front of this group, but will we see somebody come diving from behind and race through to take away the top spot? Walter in here. Havo is in this mix. Could Havo be the man today? Buster has got a phenomenal sprint on him. They might remember that finish as we came in through to the finish of Ghent, where Mads Buster absolutely excelled. That could be how he rides this.
Well, last week on the Telmarie, of course, 1.2 seconds separated the top 7 riders in Category 2. It's looking like it may well be that type of distance again. We're in with Skierski, Havo, Nitko and Trojanowski. You've got them on your screen. You can see the work they're doing. Look at the effort involved here in winning this race. They've got 600 metres, 500 metres to go, and it is all uphill.
And Simon Walter has gone for this. He's the man who's kicked first. He's on the front of this group. Nitko has to respond here, but he's got to get the timing right. We've seen riders get overhauled in the last few moments. They're coming sweeping up around the rest of the riders here. Mads Buster kicks through. He's on his way towards the front. So is SS. Walter, though, leading this out still. Behind him, they are all in a long train, a long line astern behind him. Here comes the UCI banner. Walter from SS, from Buster, from Gednis, from Nitko. Who can move up? They need to move up, and they need to do it now. The kick has come. He's gone over the top, and Gednis is going to get this surely. However, Gednis takes away the win here from SS in second. Buster in third, Nitko in fourth place there, all the way to the line. That was flat out to the finish. What a run for the line. Trojanowski, Nev, Van Heet and Mr. X100 make their way in through underneath the Union Cycliste International, the UCI banner, the governing body for cycle sport. What a race finish.
Well, that was phenomenal, but take a look at this. This is Jason Osborne. We wondered whether he'd make the catch to the Category 2 leading group. Not quite, But Jason Osborne is heading towards that UCI banner. He's going to take the win in Category 1. On the right-hand side of your screen, it's Michael Knudsen leading the charge behind, teammate of Jason Osborne on that Boss Moves Only squad. But the boss has moved. The boss in e-cycling. He's in those rainbow bands. He's coming underneath the UCI banner to take the win in Category 1. Jason Osborne does the double this weekend on My Whoosh.
Winner of the Echelon Racing League yesterday on Saturday. A winner of the Sunday Race Club on, guess when? On Sunday. It's no surprise to see Osborne up there, but this is the race behind unfolding. This is going to be absolutely critical as they come in towards our finish, because this sprint is going to be key. Will it be Iceman Van Els? Will it be Kaminski? Will it be Vujatsin Tugels? He's coming as well. Big pack chase here. Looks like Vujatsin is going to lead this out. The banner is coming. Can they go over the top? Tugels has got a phenomenal sprint, but he's leaving it late. I don't think he can answer him, can he? He's on his shoulder. He's pushing, but Vujatsin continues. It's going to come down to the throw. Vujatsin is going to take that. Surely that is down to fractions of a second.
Yeah, so Lionel Vujatsin takes that from Leonard Tugel. Syed Safrazadi, Stefan Van Els takes 5th. Mikhail Kaminski 6th. Hayden Pucker 7th place. What a sprint. Ollie Jones comes in for 8th. Bjorn Andreasen for 9th place. And Johan Noren, I think, is going to take 10th.
What a race finish there. Osborne taking the win, 53.5 seconds clear of second place. And you can see their second to third place are separated on your screens. It's showing that time gap at the moment has been 5,000th of a second. 5,000ths of a second separated them on that finish. Osborne from Vujatsin, from Tugel, Safrazadi, Van Els, Kaminski, Pucker, Jones, Andreasen and Noren, indeed rounding out the top 10. The full results of all of our race categories, of all of our mountain categories and the sprint category on mywhoosh.com. And make sure you click on those results there. Currently are unverified until we complete all of those checks on the riders, and then there'll be a blue tick next to it to say it is complete. That's qualifier race number 3 done and dusted. Next week it is our final with that teams competition coming into play. The men and women are going to be heading in to Arabia, into the hardest mountain course, I think, of the lot. It is the Jebel Yais, with nearly 1,000 meters of climbing in 45 kilometers.
That's next week. This week, just to confirm, Jason Osborne took the win in 65 minutes 49 seconds. Gabby Guerra took the win on exactly the same course as Osborne in the women's race, 78 minutes and 2 seconds.
Brilliant racing. Please do make sure you join Emma and myself for that. We have got lots going on in the meantime. There's lots of great riding. Emma, you're going to be coaching tomorrow on Monday at
12:30 UK lunchtime. A little bit of a change in time, so 30 minutes later than it has been so far this month.
You can catch me out riding on My Whoosh. In fact, catch me back on the mic a little bit later today on the UCI, the governing body of cycle sports, cyclocross coverage for the round in Benidorm, where we're going to see riders taking to the race start in that UCI World Cup. I'm going to be on the mic there. Don't forget, of course, you can catch both Emma and myself riding on My Whoosh.
Oh, Totem on stage on Tuesday.
Totem on stage on Tuesday for Emma. I'm going to be racing, trying to get myself back to some kind of race fitness for the summer. Make sure you jump on, download the app, and make sure you join us here on the My Whoosh YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the riders for keeping us entertained with such fantastic racing. A big thank you to the team behind the scenes, both making the games happen and, of course, in the production. But from myself, Matt Payne, from Emma Martin, stay safe. We'll see you again next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.